Hey guys, welcome back. It's Meg. Today we're going to be going over our first impressions of Mistweaver in Dragonflight. I do want to make a disclaimer that this is still beta. We are still expecting tuning cycles, a couple of different class changes in terms of tree pathing, or how a couple abilities may interact with each other, but this is more of just a first look at what we are expecting from playstyle. We get a couple of first looks at the dungeon as well and kind of see how those are laid out, but this is generally just a overview of what to expect from Monk and kind of see the direction that it's headed when we get to 10.0. The build that I am playing, even though these are only heroic and normal dungeons, I am playing the build that I will be most likely to play in Mythic Plus in push keys, so I want to give that most of my attention. If I had to summarize Mistweaver right now, I would say that it is dynamic, busy, it's fun, and honestly, I hesitate to use this word, but I think that it's strong. I know that strong is subjective and it comes down to tuning, but I think that we are in a very good spot to perform well in Mythic Plus. After playing beta Mistweaver, I find it very, very hard to go back to retail Monk, mainly because it just feels so clunky compared to how we were playing on beta. On beta, it feels very fluid, the playstyle just works well with pretty much everything in the kit, and for a lot of these dungeons, I feel like I have a lot of options for, picking one or two different things that will make me either do more damage, more healing, or just kind of flow better for whatever the mechanics may be. In most of this footage, this is the build that I'm running. I have my instant Vivify, I have my white tiger statue, as well as my kick, and then I took both of the raid buffs that are the leech and the avoidance. Over on the spec tree side, I have Rising Mist, I have my 1 minute bird, and then I have Feline Stomp selected as well. This is probably what I'm going to stick with most of the time. Rising Mist is still very strong, and I honestly don't feel like Invokers makes up for the fact that you lose that, because you can only grab one or the other if you want the Feline build, which I do because of the interaction with Feline and Ancient Teachings. And then when it comes between Bone Dust Brew, Rising Mist, and Invokers, I honestly don't like Bone Dust Brew. I never really did, but even though I did give it a shot, I don't think that it is better than Rising Mist. I don't think it's worth dropping for, and if I was willing to drop Rising Mist, I would probably just opt into Invokers instead. Obviously, once we get Mythic Plus in beta, I will be spending much more time there. I will give the Bonus Brew build another try, and then I'll also play with a couple other things that I don't think are going to be quite as good, but maybe options for people that prefer different types of playstyles. So this is the build that I played for almost all of the footage in this video, so that's what you're going to be seeing. I will link this down below, as well as the Invokers build and the Bone Dust Brew build. They're all relatively similar, and there are a couple things that you could move around depending on your personal playstyle, but this is what I'm playing, and I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know what I was thinking. Being able to get Dampen and Diffuse is really nice to me. Fort Brew is such a long cooldown, and it's a 2-point talent tree, so if you want to grab that, you can, and you can be extra tanky, or you can save the point, put it into something else, and still be relatively healthy with Dampen and Diffuse. I do wish that we didn't have to take Essence Font so early in the tree, given that Feline also matches the use for that. I don't even have Essence Font on my bars, but we are forced to take it if you want Cocoon, Teachings of the Monastery, which you will want, as well as Spirit of the Crane, which I have been taking. So that being there is a little bit unfortunate, but I'm not quite sure how they would rearrange it. I think that could maybe use some looking at, but at the same time it's not that big of a deal. Essence Font could have its uses, but they are in very niche situations, and I didn't ever find myself looking for that button in any of these runs. I also do not have Soothing Mist on my bars. I do put it on later because I found a couple situations where I would have liked to use it, but outside of maybe over pulling or people standing in mechanics, I didn't use it a whole lot. So I'm hoping that once people figure out the mechanics in keys, and maybe once we get a little bit more comfortable with all of our new buttons, Soothing Mist is going to be something that is used very sparingly, similar to how Expel Harm is used in live keys right now. I also have Chi Burst. That is a choice node on the class tree between Chi Wave and Chi Burst. I took Burst mainly because I play that on live when I play Night Fae, kind of following the same line of thinking about the damage events maybe giving a chance of a reset, but honestly, I don't find myself pushing it at all. I have it bound, I end up replacing it with Soothing Mist later. The only times I find myself using Chi Burst are when I make the mistake and I use Feline when I shouldn't have, and we are headed into a new pack and I don't have a proc. So what I'll do is I'll stand back in my old Feline and then send a Chi Burst into the new pack, but honestly, that's kind of a niche use. That's the only thing I've really been using it for, mainly just because it does not feel good to press. I think that largely comes down to tuning. Maybe the fact that it's a cast, but it's a fast cast, so it's not that big of a deal. but it just I don't find myself wanting to push that button very often, so hopefully that can get tuned up a little bit and do some more damage maybe, or just have like a guaranteed proc chance on it. I'm not sure. Something needs to happen to Chi Burst to make it have a little more oomph. Something else that I have been a little back and forth with is Zen Pulse. I never got to play the original version of this, so when everyone was excited that it was coming back, I was really looking forward to it as an ability, and people were kind of acting like it was the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm honestly not feeling it. I don't know what it is about the ability. It feels slightly disruptive, I guess, to our kit. I know it's like a 30-second cooldown, but at that point, if I'm using it for healing, I would rather just use an instant Vivify that I probably have. If I'm using it for damage, it's probably because I don't have a Phelan proc, or just because I'm not actually in melee yet. So I go back and forth with this ability. I think it's kind of niche, but I think that it has a lot of potential. I think overall I probably just need more work with it, so I will be playing with it more and more, especially as we get into keys where I can kind of see its value more. There is a lot of things that I'm trying to keep track of in terms of Diffuse, Tiger's Lust, Chi-Chi, those interactions with all of the slows and snares and magic abilities in these dungeons. I have a chart that I'm working on. I will continue to update it throughout the entire expansion and throughout the seasons as we see the fourth set of the new dungeons as well as the old dungeons. I will get some info on those as well. There's a lot of things that are not working here, but I think that that's just because this is still beta and things will hopefully get adjusted to the point where my anti-snares actually do anti-snare. That is going to be something I am leaving feedback on, but I will also have that information available to you guys. It is linked in the guide. It is the Chi-Chi, Tiger's Lust, and Diffuse interaction chart. I will also link that down below in the description separately if you are interested in seeing that. Something else that has been a very hot topic lately is the discussion around Vivacious Vivification. This is our instant Vivify. It used to be always instant Vivify, and now it is every 10 seconds we get one. From the way that it has been working on beta, it is not a 10-second timer from the time that you cast it, but it is kind of like a constant rolling internal clock of 10 seconds. So if you use it when it has 2 seconds left on that internal clock, you can use one Vivify, wait 2 seconds, and you'll get your another instant one, and then you'll have to wait the full 10 seconds again. But honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, it is not that big of a deal for Mythic Plus. If you took current live monk and just transplanted it straight into Dragonflight and gave us instant Vivify, that would be an understandable change. But we have so many more tools in Dragonflight to heal instantly. We have so many more passive abilities that are going to be happening between healing procs or additional healing abilities. It's just going to feel a lot more smooth. And then every now and then you can use that instant Vivify to kind of top people up a little bit more, or use it as an emergency button if someone took a lot of damage all at once. Having constant instant Vivifies is more of a convenience or quality of life thing for PvE Mistweavers, particularly in keys. It would be a nice quality of life. Is it required? No. And by no means did taking that constant instant status away nerf the class. It was more of a change, I think, in regards to PvP, because that would have made them a bit broken. It is a strong talent. Again, it didn't ruin anything. A lot of people will disagree with me, but coming from the place that I am, with all the experience that I have in Mythic Plus, not having it instant all the time is not that big of a deal. The 10-second thing is fine. Overall, I am looking forward to Dragonflight Mistweaver so much. I'm so excited for this expansion. This playstyle to me feels great. It is very fluid, it is very dynamic. I am really, really looking forward to getting into some Mythic Plus on beta. I will be doing a lot of those both on stream, and I will also be doing a lot of walkthroughs, kind of like the commentaries, but a little bit more casual for the beta keys once we get to see those. I hope that this video gave you a good idea of what Mistweaver is going to be looking like in Dragonflight as we get into further beta cycles, as well as into a little bit more serious content than heroics and normals. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for watching.